What event in your life still messes with you to this day? When I was 15, my mom became obsessed with the idea that cell phones were melting our brains. She'd read some article about radiation and suddenly our phones became public enemy number one. She made this insane rule. Our phones had to sleep in a metal lunchbox in the kitchen every night by 8 p.m. sharp. No exceptions. She even put a little pillow inside and called it the phone bed. The whole thing was ridiculous, but that wasn't even the worst part. Mom installed this app that tracked our screen time and would flash red warnings when we went over 2 hours. My brother Noah just shrugged it off. He was more into his Xbox anyway. But for me, it was torture. I decided if mom wanted to protect us from radiation, I'd show her what real protection looked like. I started wrapping everything in aluminum foil. Not just my phone, everything electronic in my room. My alarm clock, my calculator, even my desk lamp. When she asked why, I just said, "Better safe than sorry, right, Mom?" But I didn't stop there. I started wearing a foil hat to breakfast. Just a small one at first, like a beanie made of foil. When Mom stared at me, I said, "Did you know breakfast cereals are fortified with iron? That's basically metal in our food. Can't be too careful." The next day, I wrapped my backpack in foil. The day after that, I covered my textbooks. The library uses electronic security tags, I explained innocently. Who knows what kind of radiation those give off? My teachers started giving me weird looks, but I stayed committed. I lined my pockets with foil and insisted on wearing gloves because cell tower signals can penetrate skin. During lunch, I'd unwrap my sandwich from 3 layers of foil, carefully folding each layer while explaining to my friends about signal interference patterns. Mom tried to tell me I was overreacting. That's when I went nuclear. I turned our living room into what I called a radiation-free safe zone. I spent my entire allowance on aluminum foil and covered every wall, the ceiling, even the floor. Took me 6 hours, but the effect was incredible, like being inside a giant baked potato. When Mom came home from work, I was sitting cross-legged in the middle of my foil fortress, wearing a full foil suit, including pants, shirt, and a hood with little antennae. "Welcome to the safe zone," I said. "I've finally found peace from all the dangerous waves." She lost it when I suggested we should probably foil wrap our cat too, since his metal collar could be attracting harmful frequencies. Poor Gary the cat ran away every time he saw me coming with the foil roll after that. The real breaking point came during my mom's book club meeting. These were her fancy friends who drank wine and discussed deep literature, or at least pretended to. I waited until they were all settled in the living room, then made my entrance in full foil gear, pushing a cart of foil hats. "Ladies," I announced, "I couldn't help but notice your phones are unprotected. As Mom has taught me, we must guard against radiation at all costs. I've prepared protective headwear for everyone." I started handing out foil hats like party favors. Mom turned bright red as her friends tried not to laugh. I went around the room, explaining the proper way to wear the hats for maximum signal blocking. When one of her friends asked if I was serious, I launched into a detailed explanation about electromagnetic fields that I'd memorized from Wikipedia. The final straw was when I started a radiation awareness club at school. I put up posters covered in foil and handed out foil bracelets. The school counselor called my mom for a meeting after I tried to convince the cafeteria staff to wrap the microwave in foil. That night, Mom finally cracked. She deleted the screen time app and said we could keep our phones in our rooms. "Just please," she begged, "stop with the foil." I agreed, but only after making her sign a contract acknowledging that she was choosing convenience over safety. I still have that contract, written on foil paper, hanging in my room.